So first we're gonna put a name in. So I'll put my name. Okay, so that's what you see, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so first of all, let me just redo this first one. So suppose none of this stuff was here, because basically we ask you to do this on the others, right?
I
So
see.
I'm going to get rid of all that, right? So you're going to do these all by yourself.
Oh,
Now, when you do these, you got to read the formula here. That's the formula you're going to use, and you got to
right.
read the information. This is the interpretation. Then here's the information you got to put into these cells, right?
Okay, plug them into the cell. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that for the first one. Now this one's given to you already, so
Right.
you still have what was there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the inputs, and then we give you a little. This is going to be common throughout the whole class. So when you see a blue cell, it means you're going to write in text. Okay.
Mhm.
And if you see a green cell, you write in a number, and you see a gold cell, you need to have a formula. Okay.
Okay.
So a lot of people tend to put numbers where gold cells are, and I basically say, sorry, I won't take that. Go back and put a formula there.
Mhm.
Okay. So here, these are blue cells. So these are going to be text. And then we give you a hint at what to put. So we're going to put these parameters, and these things have names. So P is what we call principal. Okay. Now this is, well, I guess it says here, right? P is the amount that grows, right? Okay. And it's going to grow at a rate R, right? So I'll put R here. And there's going to be N compoundings per year. So I'm going to put N. Okay. And these are just labels. We're not going to actually do anything with these. These are just labels. And then the last thing I need here is T, the number of years. Okay. And now these are green, so I'm going to put numbers, right? And so I'm going to read the here, right? So I have a $4,000 balance. That's P right there. Okay. That's the principal. Maybe I'll put little, let's see, what is this doing? Let me mess with this just a little bit so I can put arrows on here. I'm going to turn this off. And that's all I'm going to do. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to stick arrows just so you can see what I'm saying here. So P, that principal is that $4,000 right there, right? So I'm going to put 4,000. Okay. And it actually formatted it for me as dollars, right? So let me actually get rid of the formatting because that's part of what you need to know how to do. So I'm going to turn all this to general, so no specific format.
Okay.
Right? So if I just put that in there and it had no format, right, it's just going to look like that. Okay. And then I need to format it as currency here, right? So I'm going to come up here to this little drop down. You could just use this, but I don't really like this one because I'll show you why. It does this thing where it puts the dollar sign way to one side than the number.
Okay.
And sometimes that can mess up formatting. I just don't like that one. It's okay, but I like this currency one here.
Okay.
And it leaves things centered, so I just prefer that. Okay, and then the R is going to be a percentage. And here you have to be a little bit careful. 12.3 is not right because 12.3 as a number would be 100. No, it'd be 1,230%, right? Because 12.3% is really 0.123, right? So you could write that 0.123 like that. Okay. And then this doesn't look pretty. It's not formatted like that, right? So here you use this little percent button, right? And it'll format it. But notice it gets rid of the decimal places, right? And so you can come add decimal places using that button, okay? And we could add 2 if we wanted, right? And I don't think we specifically say, no, we say here, format with 1 decimal place, right? So we're gonna go back and make that 1 decimal place, okay? And then it says to format the years and the periods with 0 decimal places, okay? But generally for formatting, it all goes on in here. You see where my mouse is moving?
Yes.
That's where all the formatting stuff is, okay?
Okay.
So here we're gonna have N, and here it says we're compounding quarterly. Okay, and N is the number of times per year we compound, so that's gonna be 4 because it's quarterly, okay? And then we're gonna do this for 5 years, right? So that's gonna be 5. And then here we're just going to put the amount. So here the way he writes it is A of T, right? So I'm just gonna put A there. Let me see. I gotta let 2 other people in here. Sorry, I missed one of them. Okay. You could put A of T. It doesn't matter. These are just labels. So you can really, these are sort of free form, right? The way we give it to you is like this. I don't really like this actually. I think he gives it to you like that, all right, initially. I would just do it like that. That makes more sense to me.
Okay.
But anyway, whatever. These are just labels, you know. And let me put the rest of these arrows just so we make this clear. Right, the rate, I just want to make sure we see everything. Right, the rate is right there. That's at percent, right? The number of times per year. Whoops, what did that do? Let's try that again. The number of times per year, that came from quarterly, so that came from right there where it says quarterly, right? So that's where that 4 came from. And then the number of years, that's given to you from right here, 5 years, right? That's coming from right there. Just to make that clear, right? And so every one of these problems has their own little story, right? So like here, the P will be 250, the years will be 7, right? You're compounding every month, so the N will be 12, right? So every one of these is a little bit different.
So are we just plugging in the information like you're showing me right now into the other ones?
Yep. So here's the information for this one. This is what you were given already when you opened up the sheet, right? Basically, I mean, I wrote it a little bit differently, but basically it's the same. And then the formula, now we want to use that formula right there.
Right, for that one.
Okay, so the way it works in Excel, when you enter a formula, is you type an equal sign. That tells Excel to compute something. Okay. And then we don't type in, like if I just type in P, right, it doesn't know what to do with that. It says what was P. I don't know what P is, right? But what we can do is we type in the cell reference for what the value of P, right? So this 4,000 is what we want. Now I could type in 4,000. I'll tell you why I don't want to do that, right? So I could do that, right? And in fact, let's pretend the formatting wasn't here. So you had to do the formatting again, just to practice that, right? The point is when I'm done, right, I really want a calculator that just lets me change these parameters, okay? And then this computation should change all by itself. So if I come up here and decide to change this to 5,000, right, this should just change automatically by itself. I shouldn't have to also come change my formula. That's a waste, right? Okay, so the way we do that is we put our equal sign that says we're going to do a formula. Then we put the cell reference. So in this case, it's A19. Okay, so I could type that. I could type A19, and then I'm going to put the rest of the formula. So I put a star and stuff. But what I typically do in formulas like this is you can just click on the cell, and Excel will fill that in for you. Okay, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to put in the star. That's how we say times. You need these parentheses. So 1 plus, right? And then R is here. And then and then the divide symbol is that slash, and then in, right? And then you close the parentheses, and then you have the little hat. That's an exponent. That's the way you do exponents. Then another parentheses, and we have these two things multiplied together, n times 5, right?
Yes.
And we got that. And this is different. Oh, I know it's different because I changed this, right?
4, yeah.
4,000. I was gonna say that's not the expected number. There we go, right? So that's what you originally had.
Okay.
Right. And if you look now at yours, right, this is all given to you, and this is the formula that's there.
Right. Correct.
Okay. So you do the same thing. You do the same thing here.
Different formulas. Looks like.
Here, different formulas, different parameters, right? And then same thing here, and keep note here which one is the new CPI and old CPI.
Okay.
And dividing by old CPI. Okay. People tend to confuse this, like often divide by the new one instead of the old one. This is something you're going to do a bunch in this class. Percentage change is always new minus old. That's the change in something. Then divided by the old or the original amount. All right. So a common mistake is to divide by the new amount instead of the original amount. So like if you wanted your percentage change in pay, right? Like say you just got a pay increase, right? You would do your new salary minus your old salary, then divide it by your old salary, not your new salary.
Okay.
Right. And that makes a difference. It makes a difference in what the value is, right? So it does matter. Okay. So one thing you'll learn is that parentheses and order is really important. Right. So that's something to keep in mind. But that's what you do, okay? And so I'll let you try the rest, right? But you do basically the same thing, you know.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. I think I was just overwhelmed. It was just like I said, I'm not really good at math, so this is all new. So just trying to learn.
Yeah, I mean, in some sense, we don't ask you to do like Alex is where you do most of the math, right? You know, you're just solving problems there. Here, mainly, we're just sort of learning the correct way to use Excel, which is an important skill, right? And so like using those cell references instead of typing in numbers, right? That's not an important math thing, but it's an important Excel thing. right?
Excel, right? Yeah.
And so here we're not so interested in you understanding or knowing how to use these formulas. We're really just interested in you entering the data and using the Excel correctly, right?
Got it. Okay.
So think of this as more of an Excel assignment than a math assignment
Okay.
in some sense.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a little familiar with Excel, so that's good.
Okay, good. Yeah, that'll help a lot. Okay, cool. Let me see if there's another question, and you can try the next one if you want. If you have a
Yes, I'm gonna go
if you
do it
get
right
stuck,
now.
you can ask me a question.